Okay. Hi, I'm Melissa Salas, and my partner Stephanie San Juan is behind the phone. We have our presentation for district's policies and practices with English learners by me, Melissa, and by Stephanie. Our district was PSJA ISD, and PSJA ISD takes part of Region 1 in the region system. It has 27 elementary schools, 8 middle schools, and 6 high schools. So this makes it a massive district. And of course, by the name of the district, it covers 3 cities, 3 of the biggest cities I consider in the valley. Offers dual language programs in Spanish all campuses, and Arabic in select campuses, and Mandarin in select campuses. This information right here was retrieved, and that one was retrieved from the PSJA district website. District demographics, student body. The student body count of PSJA ISD comprises of 31,874 students. That's a very big number. 13,757 are labeled as limited English proficient, and 99.1% of the LEPs are Hispanic. So the majority of LEPs are Hispanic, which they speak Spanish, which explains to why they have Spanish in all their campuses offered as another language. Out of 3,757 LEPs in PSJ, only 2,515 are enrolled in GT programs, which I thought was very surprising. I feel like since this campus is so populated by the Hispanic population, there should be more children in the GT program that are labeled LEP. And that was one of our, I think she was from Dr. Lagno, Stephanie, the teacher that said that even though kids were labeled as LEP, they could still be part of the GT program. It says there on one of your surveys. So I thought that was surprising. Tests used to identify, monitor, and reclassify Ls. So I went over all the surveys, and these were all the ones mentioned. The home language survey, of course, which is given to parents once a child has either moved to Texas for the first time or has been enrolled for the first time for pre-K or kinder. Pre-LAS, LAS links, and DELPAS. So those are the ones used to identify, monitor, and reclassify English learners. Services provided by schools for ELs. Designated days for language instruction. This means that it was Cesar Chavez, I believe, or Garcia Elementary in Salfar. They have special days designated to a certain language, like Mondays and Wednesdays is English, Mondays and Wednesdays and Fridays is Spanish, and Tuesdays and Thursdays is English, and then it'll swap once the STAR tests are over the horizon, of course. And then Reach Adoption Program, computer programs, ELL reading programs, and dual language program, which every campus should offer that if they have a certain amount of English learners. But that's just what they answered us. And now, here comes my partner.
Hi, my name is Stephanie San Juan. PSJA uses the assessment information that they get from the test. The LPAC committee is the one that uses the information, and they distinguish placements. They're the ones that either give them a 1, 2, 3, or 4, 5. And from there, their main goal, the uses of the test, the main goal is basically, in all of our surveys that I read that most teachers had in common, was to grow the students. In order for them to grow the students, they go based off of the test and they monitor the students' progress. Their main goal is to get them from one level to the next. And this is what the teacher's main goal is. For them, I thought that this, for them, is basically also for them to better sharpen their instruction skills, so purposeful planning can be done. The
Oh,
methodology.
it touches. I'm sorry.
The methodology in assessing ESLs in the classroom. Basically all of the teachers answered really broad in this question. They all had their little input on how they assess their EL learners. Two of the teachers had mentioned that they do informal assessments, meaning that one of them had put down that they question the ESL learners on their books in English. They do informal assessments. Another teacher had put how they create their own assessments, but they still go under the district's guideline. Like they try to go on based on the guidelines that the school district has. Exposing vocabulary. Two of the teachers had mentioned how math is not in Spanish, they go by it in English. So they expose them more to vocabulary and use strategies when it comes to dealing with that subject in math. And also I was noticing too on the questionnaires that they also use support for assessing their ELs in the classroom. Okay, so language preference used in classroom. This is one of the questions that we chose. So this one I thought was really
surprising.
Yes. All of the 5 teachers preferred using Spanish, and I could understand and I could see why they use Spanish, because it's their native language.
Yeah.
So if you tap into their Spanish, the language that they're more familiarized with, if you have a strong language, if you have the first strong language, you'll be excellent in your second language. So it's basically like a bridge building from the Spanish to your English. And basically what I got out of this is like they process first the information that is given in Spanish to English,
and then project it.
And that is how you go based off of it. Then back then when they're like, you know what, you need to leave your native tongue, you need to leave your identity. No, you need your Spanish in order to gain English. So I mean, that's why I only put one bulletin, because it is better for Spanish for them to teach them in Spanish in a language that they're more familiar with, so they can reach where they need to be. Oh,
good point. Oh, that's the end. Thank you. And our references, and that's the end.
That's it.